I have weird dreams sometimes. Oh my god, I'm so random and unique. It's not like anybody else ever has weird dreams. I thought I would record myself talking about my dreams because people on the internet listen to people talk about things on YouTube that are pointless. When I was little, I used to constantly have dreams about Sonic the Hedgehog and the other characters in that franchise. I just thought Sonic the Hedgehog was really cool because, can you tell me why? I don't know why. Anyway, I also thought that Shadow the Hedgehog was super badass. And it's not like I had any video games with Shadow the Hedgehog in it. I just read about him on Wikipedia and I just thought to myself, wow, that's so edgy, a black hedgehog. I kept count of how many dreams I had with Sonic the Hedgehog and friends in them, and I think I stopped having them at over 30. Yep. There was one where Shadow the Hedgehog was about to throw Tails into a moving plane propeller, and it's weird because that's the only one I remember in any amount of detail. Sorry. There was this one dream where I was a handsome Native American man who didn't wear a shirt, but he wore a pretty cool hat. Also, I was in a video game again. I didn't actually play video games very often as a kid. I just watched my older sister play them at my aunt's house because my aunt had a GameCube and a Dreamcast and an NES and Super NES. Anyway, I, the handsome 16-bit Native American man, was hanging out at some tall docks that overlooked a large body of water. The end. Before I started my last year of high school, I had a super spooky dream. I'm going to tell you about it. I was going into my high school that looked nothing like my actual high school, but I didn't question it. There was an artificial pond in the middle of the school, and no one thought that was a waste of school funds at all, apparently. There were 2 rotting dead bodies floating around in this pond, and all the students asked the teachers, why are there fucking dead people floating around in the pond? And the teachers just said, I don't know. How are we supposed to know? So I continued down the hall, and my 9th grade physical science teacher was standing at the foot of the staircase that led up to the roof, and said to us something like, come children, we're having classes upstairs today. I just knew, like, automatically, that's just one of those things that you know in dreams, that he was going to kill us if we went upstairs with him, and we just knew that he was the one who killed the people floating around in the artificial pond. Oh no! And we all ran for the windows, and I carefully cranked open the glass pane and kicked out the screen, and I didn't break the window for some reason, but I was completely willing to damage the screen of the window. We hid ourselves on the playground that was outside the high school for some reason, and we sang church songs. I found myself at home, so I guess I escaped campus. I was watching the giant wooden 80s TV that we have in our basement, and all of a sudden, the screen went all staticky, and a scary face appeared in the static. I ran upstairs to tell my mom that there was a scary face on the television set, but she turned around with a knife in her hand, and she was going to kill me. Then I woke up in air quotes, actually, inside the dream, except I was still in the kitchen, only my mom didn't want to kill me anymore. I guess that's a good thing to wake up to. Then I heard footsteps coming up the stairs from the basement. And a zombie emo kid came up the stairs and he wanted to kill me. Then I woke up again, in air quotes. I woke up again. But the zombie emo kid was still there. I guess my dreams don't get the concept of waking up. But he didn't want to kill me anymore. And then he became my boyfriend, and then I woke up for real. I had 3 fucking dreams that featured Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, which we might know are the Columbine shooters. In the first one, I went to a fancy pants boarding school with dorms and uniforms and everything. And I was in class, and suddenly they appeared. And I knew what to do. I took out my gun because this school is so fancy that they do not have a no guns policy. We had a shootout, and I think my gun was a revolver, and their guns were shotguns or something. Who cares? I ran out of ammunition, like, really quickly because I just had, like, a tiny revolver, and apparently I didn't bring any ammunition with me. So I buried myself into the crowd in the hallway, hoping that the bodies of innocent people would guard me from their bullets as they followed me. I ran into my dorm and begged all my roommates for ammunition. One of them told me, they're not actually going to shoot you. They're not serious at all. The end. In the second one, I was actually Eric Harris. I rode my magic talking pony. I had a talking pony, by the way, across the water. It would the pony was really good at swimming, so I rode my magic talking pony across the body of water to a tropical island that was covered in small warm pools that were like shallow hot tubs. So it was really cool. Dylan Klebold soon joined us, and we had a grand old time all day. It was like a perfect 90s pool party. Then both my magic talking pony and Dylan Klebold were just like, BRB, we just gotta go do something. And then they left, and then the sun went down, and then I realized they ditched me. The street lamp above me, by the way, there was a street lamp above me for some reason. The street lamp turned on, and nothing happened, and I just wallowed in self-pity. Suddenly, some teenagers came and started bullying me. I assume this bullying consisted of calling me a faggot, and I beat them up. Then I ran into a cave, and I met a girl at some point. I don't know when. It wasn't when I got in there. I met her at some point. And we had Indiana Jones-like adventures that I barely remember inside the cave. Then I escaped the cave, and she just kind of disappeared. Who cares? So I escaped the cave, and it was morning by that time, and I found Dylan Klebold just kind of hanging out with some kids in a pool, and I was like, why did you ditch me, Dylan? He gave me an explanation as to why he ditched me that I don't remember. The only thing I remember was that it was a reasonable explanation. I forgave him immediately. The third one, for some context, was after I discovered PewDiePie and watched a video on YouTube in which PewDiePie played through a haunted house game. So this time, I was Dylan Klebold, and Eric Harris and I were all dressed up and had our guns and bombs and stuff and ready to shoot up Columbine High. Pleasant. However, the high school was across the country. Ooh, twist. And we had to get there with the help of a car. Road trip. We stopped at an abandoned house in the middle of nowhere for the night. It turned out it was a haunted house. Scary shit was going down, like moving objects and apparitions appearing. And then suddenly Eric Harris wasn't there anymore. I guess he ditched me because he remembered me ditching him in the previous dream. I found myself in a super uber haunted room, and so I curled up in the fetal position until morning. When morning came, I tried to escape through the locked sliding glass door by breaking the glass with my skull. I guess I left the guns in the car. Suddenly, my 11th grade biology teacher was outside the sliding glass door, and he let me out. So ends the Columbine trilogy. Fiend. Recently, I had a dream in which I was, first and foremost, I was a teenage boy, and I'm pretty sure I was that kid from Clock Stoppers. I remember when that movie came out in 2002, and I just thought it must have been cool because it was a one-night only rental at the Coburn's video rental place. And I watched it at my aunt's house, and oh my gosh, it was so hardcore because it was about a watch that could slow down time. Anyway, so I was this boy from this early 2000s movie, and I was in a dark house, and my father and my brother, I don't have a brother in real life, by the way, so my father and my brother had turned into vampire zombies, not just one or the other, but both. They were hybrids, I guess. I don't know what that would be. I ran out before they could attack me, and then I ran toward the road that's outside my neighborhood. There were some male joggers who told me they were genderqueer, and that was of no consequence to the dream's plot. I ran across the road to the buildings that are across from the elementary school I went to when I was little, and among the buildings there was a Subway that was under construction, and I overheard the female owner say that it was a Subway that only served organic food. And that was also of no consequence to the plot. My father was approaching. So I ran in the opposite direction of town, but ended up in town anyway. And I ran into a dental clinic that was made of wood that looked really splintery, and I thought to myself kind of briefly, they should sand that down, even though it's pretty. Before I hid in the bathroom that was next to the play area for the kids. And the bathroom had a terrible design. The walls were just like, they were made of the screens that are over windows, so everybody could see, like, whoever was in there taking a dump. They kicked me out, but I ran back in only to escape out a side door. to continue running to the next town. This dream was so great because whenever I need to run away from something in dreams, I can only run in slow motion for some reason, usually, but I didn't run in slow motion in this one. Also in my dreams, I am often involuntarily moving my jaw to the point where I might break it, and I have to bite down really hard. Like, I go like this, and like it's like my jaw's moving like way too far, and I have to clamp down like this to make sure I don't break my jaw. Because I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I think it's because I'm actually grinding my teeth in my sleep like really hard or something. And so I don't know. The people in the next town were really mean to me. Like this one chick passing by, like I didn't even touch her or look at her or anything, but she just like yelled at me like I did something wrong. Fuck you, bitch. I found myself in an alt-girls summer camp that was surrounded by a short but barbed wire fence, and the barbed wire was covered in yellow spiders that were in a catatonic state. There was a flat, endless field beyond the fence. Okay, that's enough for now.